welcome to The Man Way, episode number 1. Hello, Carl.
One?
Yes.
Did you say one?
Yes, Carl. Hi. How are you? 1. Yes,
fine.
episode 1. I think we should be more like 15 or 16 or something, right?
Something like that.
We decided it was time to kind of revamp the channel. Plus, we took like 9 months off. And we're going to focus on some more temporal things. Beer, entertainment, maybe some mixed drinks once in a while. Sound good to you?
That's the way it should be.
Speaking of, hello, anybody remember the Thundercats?
Thundercats.
Lionel and the gang? All right, good times. So, tonight we have an empty bottle on the table. And Carl and I want to talk about this first because it was epic.
Yeah.
This is the Roak Brewing Company, which is from
Royal Oak, Michigan.
Royal Oak, Michigan. The French toast, actually it's the Devil Dog French toast oatmeal stout, as opposed to their regular Devil Dog oatmeal stout.
Mm-hmm.
And this bottle, we each had one with dinner tonight, and
I said to myself, this is so epic that if we don't have it on camera, it'll just be wrong.
yeah.
That being said, we had just drunk one. So
Yeah, and we didn't want to drink two because we want to enjoy some more beers for you.
Yeah.
You see the things that we are doing for you. But we had to bring this empty guy out to show you. Is there anything? I got a drop.
Oh, way to go, man.
Maple. You can even smell and taste a little bit of buttery flavor.
Yeah.
There's some toasty flavor in there.
Oh,
And of course the
good.
oatmeal and the stout and Roak, 11 out of 10. I mean, seriously, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
Way to go, Roak, with
Yeah.
your oatmeal stout.
Roak has had a good beer every single time.
Yeah, and in fact, just a week ago, I tried their ice cream malt or ice cream man sour.
Yeah.
You could taste the ice cream in it.
Yeah.
And it was cool and refreshing. It wasn't heavy. It was just, incredible. Way to go, Roak. You know how to incorporate those flavors. Now, Carl, what are we drinking tonight? What do you have here?
This is a Haymarket Belgian style pale ale.
Now, we just met their assistant brewmaster tonight.
Yep.
And we bought this because they had a tasting booth at the local store.
Mm-hmm.
And way to go, Haymarket. I tasted it. You did not.
Correct.
So he's in for a treat. I tasted it. I loved it. And he bought it based on that experience. And tonight I have the Bell's Special Double Cream Stout. I have had this one before. So for me it's a classic. I had it last Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And Bell's is based here in Michigan. Haymarket is out of Bridgewater, and Bell's is in, I should know this,
Kalamazoo.
Comstock.
Comstock,
yeah.
Kind of like next to Kalamazoo.
So, Carl, let's crack these open. Hey, wait, this doesn't work.
That's a special opener you got
Hey,
there.
this is a can.
Yes, actually, cans...
So, let's talk about the science. Yeah, let's talk...
better than the bottles,
Yeah.
according to some people, because they keep the light completely away from the beer, which will ruin a beer faster. And so this is how you can not only get a beer that isn't affected by light, but you also get a lot more beer per delivery, almost twice as much. Because when they stack these into a truck, they get, this many 12-ounce serving, 12-ounce bottles, but you can get almost twice as many 12-ounce cans in the same space. And when they do one delivery like that as opposed to two, it just brings the price down. So not only is the container less expensive, but delivery is less expensive. And so that's a way that they can make beer more affordable. Some people say that the aluminum affects the taste, even though all the cans are lined. I personally can only taste the aluminum when I actually put my lips on the aluminum itself. So that's why I always use a glass whenever I put my canned beer whenever I drink it.
Are you partial to the R2D2 glass?
R2D2 is just too cool.
He's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Beep, beep, bloop. Now, actually, you mentioned the opener. This was my father's bottle opener when I was growing up. He kept this in his toolbox, so this is a good 40 years old right here, maybe 50 years old.
Wow.
And now, I haven't figured out what this doodad is for here.
That's for opening paint.
So this is for, this perpetuates the myth or the legend that painters get drunk.
Yeah, I guess so.
So let's open these up and see what we got here. I had it backwards. There we go.
All right.
Let's watch the pour. Remember, when pouring, about a 45-degree angle until you are 3/4 of the way full. And then you tip it up, and you'll get the head that the brewmaster designed for your brew. Oh, I'll leave this right here so you don't forget what we're drinking.
Well done.
That looks nice.
The head is kind of falling away pretty quickly, but then for a Belgian, a white pale ale, that actually isn't unusual.
Right. Mine is staying. It's finer bubbles. Those are big bubbles. These are finer bubbles. Mm-hmm. Let's give this a try here. Okay.
Wow.
How's that?
They do a Belgian right.
I forgot to tell you, give it a good smell. You'll get some citrus smell on that if you didn't already.
I did.
Yeah. This is interesting. This does not taste like last year. It tastes a little more watered down.
No kidding.
It does. Now, Bell's is a good company, and the flavor is good. It tastes a little bit watery. So I'm going to have a few more sips, and we'll talk about it later on in the show.
If it changes while you're drinking it, it's because of something you had previously.
Aha.
It's changing things.
There you go. That may be it. So before the show, and speaking of R2D2, we were talking about some Star Wars.
Yeah.
And boy, there's a lot of brouhaha in the Star Wars community. Yeah. The entire Star Wars community is split. It may not even be right down the middle. It might be more like 60-40. With 60% hating The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Now, The Last Jedi has been out for about 9-10 months now. Mm-hmm. And Carl and I, we do everything together. We went and saw it in the movie theater because that's what you do with Star Wars. You want the full Star Wars experience.
Star Wars.
And when we got out, we're like, wow, that was great. Really, a really fun time. Amazing special effects.
Absolutely enjoyed it.
Who would have thought of wiping out an entire fleet of ships with, light speed? Yep. That was great. Really noble way to die, a noble way to take out. That was great. And then Carl, who is far more brave than I am, decided to go online and start reading some reviews. And he started finding a cache of people online
I started running into all the people who were big fans and were disappointed. Because we did not watch the trailers or listen to the theories or the scuttlebutt or look at anything.
That's true.
That was Star Wars before we went to the theater.
Yeah, that's true. We did not indulge.
At all. I avoided it. I looked at every trailer like a spoiler. Just didn't do it.
Right. So a lot of people are upset at Luke, right? Luke is a big point of contention.
Right.
And I see him he went from being a whiny teenager to a grumpy old man. That's how I see it. But Carl's been bringing some stuff to my attention. This made me rethink some of that.
Well, what happened was, while we were in the theater, we came out and we said, fantastic movie. We absolutely loved it. And except for the obvious things. You see, that was true. Because when we were in there, Holdo was...
Admiral Holdo?
Admiral Holdo.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of painful to watch. But we thought the rest of the movie was good enough that we could ignore that for a moment. Yeah. And then there was also Mary Poppins going back into the ship like Superman. And I remember we looked at each other in the theater when she did that, and we're like,
I had
we had some confusion going on.
I have a theory on that.
Yeah.
When Princess Leia is frozen in space
Mm-hmm.
and then starts flying back to her ship, I have a theory that I have not told you.
It's the Force protecting her.
No.
Okay, what is it?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo did it.
That's my theory now.
Okay.
He regretted shooting his mother out into space and brought her back to the ship.
Okay.
He had already killed his father, murdered him,
Mm-hmm.
and now he has murdered his mother, and now he's like, oh, wait.
He didn't pull the trigger, but he was part of that group. Somebody else pulled the trigger.
Accomplice.
So he can just say, I was, a part of the group that killed my mother and felt responsible, which I totally agree.
I'm just wondering. But let's go on. Okay, that was that. Luke, what else?
So, anyway, that was just a very good way of retconning that problem, because we both saw it as a problem in the movie, but we both said, because we like the movie, we can look through it. And so that's what we did. I personally saw it as, I started getting the idea early on that the Resistance was like the Republicans and the First Order was like the Democrats, and you don't follow either one of those.
Right, because they're both failing.
Right.
Yeah.
Both failures, both bad ideas at their foundations, and so you find a new foundation, the right foundation, and you do that. You follow that.
Yes.
So that's how I looked at it. That's why I liked it. That's why I powered through it. But then later on, I started looking at the theories. I started looking at the rest of the community. And the people that I respected were talking about a lot of the things that I sort of ignored.
Mm-hmm.
But after being shown them and told about them, I couldn't ignore it anymore. And they were right.
Okay.
Luke really was turned into a homicidal maniac.
He was. And for him to even consider attacking an unarmed youth.
Yeah, in his sleep.
That's just not Luke.
Yeah.
Luke's whole motto in episodes 4, 5, and 6 was, let's help our friends.
Yep.
He was not there to help him. He was there to murder him.
Yep.
So they really did take the character of Luke and change things a lot.
And then the anger about Rey being a Mary Sue, they doubled down and went over the board with her. Now I saw, and it's what I put into the movie when I got there, because after they said, oh, she's even more of a Mary Sue in The Last Jedi than she was in The Force Awakens, I thought, no, he trained her. But when I looked at it the second time, he really didn't. He told her a couple of things. He talked to her a couple of times. He didn't train her. If you watch, all the scenes between those two.
You mean Kylo?
On the island. No,
yeah.
Between
Luke
and
yeah.
Rey.
There was no training.
On the island, no training. She just knew everything.
Yeah.
And then you look at what Yoda said. Yoda just confirmed it. Yeah, she didn't get any training by you, and she knows everything. And you gotta say to yourself, you know what? That actually is a problem.
Now, was Luke actually there on the island, or was he dead? And was that his ghost, and she saw him? And he just didn't know he was dead.
That is a way to retcon the thing, except you cannot get by the scene between Luke and Yoda.
Unless Luke doesn't know he's dead.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Sixth sense here,
Okay.
Unless he doesn't know.
All right.
The movie starts early on with the shot of his ship in the water.
Yeah.
Underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He commits suicide.
I don't know. And maybe only Rey can see him because she's force sensitive.
Okay.
And maybe he's caught in between worlds. There are ways to explain the way out of all this.
And retcon, what does that mean? It means retroactive
continuity.
Yes.
Yep. retroactive continuity, which they have done with Solo. Let's switch to Solo for a moment.
Yep.
Do you remember in Episode 4 how the Millennium Falcon almost seemed to be guiding them?
Yep.
If you remember now, in the movie Solo, L3's Navicomputer was melded with the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
And when C-3PO got on board the Millennium Falcon, he said, "This ship has a strange dialect."
Yes.
Very interesting talk there. It was robot talking to robot.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some cool stuff in Solo. But you know, Solo, I feel a bit about like Solo, like you do Last Jedi, was like, I'm a collector, but you don't see me running out to buy it either. It was good. It was a Western pretending to be Star Wars.
Yeah.
As a Western, it was a great movie.
Like I've said before, it appears that somebody had a decent storyline that they could, show the executives, and the executives could say, "Hey, that actually works, and that what are we going to do?" And somebody said, "Hey, let's stick the Star Wars label on this and go with it," just like they did with iRobot.
Yeah, exactly.
Which the writer of iRobot admitted that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So we know it actually does happen, and I think it happened in this case.
I want to go back.
With Solo.
I want to go back to something you said about Republicans and Democrats in The Last Jedi. How the mainstream left and the mainstream right were both wrong in the movie. They both have bad principles, and we need to leave that and find something new. Mm-hmm. That brings me to a movie called Rogue One, which is now my favorite movie outside of the original three.
Yep.
Rogue One is killer. And my favorite character in Rogue One is not Jyn, is not any of the other characters, it is Saw Gerrera. And the reason is...
They tried to paint him sort of in a bad light. And
they did.
They couldn't do it.
But you know what? He's not Republican or Democrat.
Right.
He's rebellion, but even the rebellion will have nothing to do with him because, well, he's a little bit too radical. We don't want to associate with his kind.
Yeah, too extreme.
Well, that's what we need.
Right.
We need men who are willing to be too extreme.
Yeah.
We do. We need that. And he was willing to be that and be the loner in the desert with no friends to uphold his values and his morals. That was pretty awesome.
Yep.
So, way to go, Saw Gerrera, my favorite character from Rogue One, followed by K2SO. K2SO.
Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. Also one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
But
fantastic.
And then K2SO is the most fun robot since R2-D2 and C-3PO first landed on screen. K2SO is a riot, and he can kick L3 all over the battleground. I mean, come on. K2SO kicks it. He's awesome.
Yeah, they really should have had K2 as Lando's sidekick, not L3.
What was that? I can't even put that into words. What was that? Robot Revolution! What was that? Was just...
See, but that's the thing. The movie was good enough that you could say, all right, we'll overlook that mistake.
Yeah.
Just because, okay, that's weird, but, we can say, looking overall at the story and the ending, too, with the, what do they call those things?
Yeah. So, in wrapping up, though, The Force Awakens was a scene-for-scene remake of A New Hope. Okay, I'll watch it one or two times before I die. Sure. I own it.
As far as a reboot goes, that's acceptable.
Yes. The Last Jedi, really great special effects. Some of the stuff is forgettable. I might pick it up once in a while. Cinematography was great. Solo, it's a Western. I'm going to keep treating it as a Western. Rogue One has gotten far more play by me in my home than all of the others combined, and it will continue to. I think I'm going to stick with the original 3 plus Episode 3 and Rogue One. That's my base to go off of.
And that's followed by the prequels.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to say that Solo is better than The Last Jedi is the worst of them all.
It is. And hey, OCU Star Wars Theory making the Darth Vader fan movie later this year. They've already started filming. So, the Darth Vader fan film made by Star Wars Theory. Look them up on Instagram and elsewhere. You'll find it, and it's a fan film. All right, I'll drink to that. Hey, it's been good to see you all, and we're going to finish these off camera, and we'll see you in episode 2.